Tatsuya Imai, I think that's how you say his name, the latest ace to come out of Japan. He's got a 45-day window to sign with somebody, and he said, I don't want to sign with the Dodgers. I want to take the Dodgers down. And to that I say, noble. Not a good idea, but noble. This is the Hold My Ball podcast. Let's talk about this man. All right, so this guy is 27 years old. Just came off of a good season. He's good over there in Japan, the NPB league, or whatever that's called. Probably got that wrong. No, yeah, NPB. 27 years old. He said, of course, I'd like to play with Ohtani and Yoshinobu and Roki, but winning against a team like that and becoming a world champion would be the most valuable thing in my life. Understandable. I could see that. And I do admire that. Last season, Imai pitched in a combined no-hitter and was named his third career All-Star team. He has a 3.15 career ERA over 159 games with the Lions. So 159 games, a career 3.15 in Japan. I'm just going to say it right now. I don't think this guy's going to pan out like Ohtani and like Yamamoto. And I'll give you Sasaki to still figure him out. We haven't made a decision on how good he actually is yet. He went through a nice little learning situation this year, moved from a starter to the pen, lots of things going on there. But I just don't think this guy, and for no real reason, truthfully. I mean, I'm looking at the way he looks. He's got long hair, cool. Looks very, very much out of the NPB league. I don't know. I just don't see him being the guy. And when you say something like this and you don't end up on the Dodgers, I just think this Dodgers team is so good and stacked, and they've won so much that they just look for things now. Like, how can we get fired up? And I think saying something like this and going to a different team, I just see the Dodgers like locking in and racking this guy if he pitches against them. I could be wrong, but the thing is, who are you going to go to? Who's going to contend with the Dodgers next year? And I'm not saying who are you going to go to. There's nobody there. The thing is, it could be anybody. It could be anybody. The Blue Jays pushed them to extra innings in Game 7 of the World Series, and nobody, except for Toronto fans, expected that to happen. And the thing with Toronto is, I don't care who you are. If you're not a big-time baseball follower, I follow a lot of baseball, obviously. I didn't know who over half of the Blue Jays were until I watched the playoffs. I didn't know who any of those dudes were. And I don't think many people did. And if you do, you're lying. So what does it really take? The Blue Jays were very good. Don't get me wrong. They hit the ball. I think they were truly one of the best teams overall, complete teams. I think they were the best as far as season wide, even in the playoffs by the numbers. But there's a difference between the best team and the winning team. And the best team doesn't always win. In this case, the best team on paper won. I think the best team statistically on the field, that played a certain way, consistent throughout the playoffs, I don't think they won. However, anybody that wins is the best team. That is all there is to it. If you're pretty damn good, if your stats, the Dodgers didn't have a single guy that played more than that had more than 10 at bats, other than I think Ben Rorvet and then somebody else on their roster had a couple hits that put him up in the, here you go, right here. Alex Call hit 364. Rorvet hit 429. That was 3 for 7, and what was Call? And 4 for 11. Nobody else throughout the playoffs. Ohtani, here's the everyday players on the Dodgers. Here's their batting averages through the playoffs. And I know nobody cares about batting average anymore, so I'll give you the OPS too. That's even worse, to be honest. 265, 257, 214, 222, 221, 276, 250, 278, 229. 078 for Pages, who had 51 at bats. 078. They got a guy in their lineup that went 078 in 51 games. This is 51 at bats, 16 of their 17 playoff games. That's crazy. People say the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Are they? Or is it everybody else that doesn't play the game the right way that is ruining baseball? I'd argue that. And I'm going to maybe get into that and do a different podcast. But let's talk about this for a minute. OPS. Dodgers OPS. You ready for this? Ohtani, 1.096. He's over 1,000. I'm going to read this out, and guess what? You're not going to see another dude over 800. 789, 764, 619, 720, 778, 649, 760, 647, 211. Ben Rorvet. So the guy that had 7 ABs at 1,000. They didn't hit worth a damn. I'll tell you that. They didn't hit well. They didn't do much well other than pitch the shit out of the ball. And they did that. They did that really well. But to contrast, let's look at the Blue Jays. Blue Jays hitting throughout the playoffs. So the Dodgers had one guy above 800 OPS. One. It was Ohtani. One guy. And they had nobody over 276 for a batting average in the playoffs. Nobody. So the superstars, the lineup, what did it do? It did just enough. That's what it did. Let's look at this. Toronto Blue Jays. Here's their batting averages and OPSs throughout just the playoffs. 397, 254, 284, 367, 270, 227, 215, 348, 411, 200, 250, 162, 274, 200. So of the guys that played that had more than, let's call it 10 at bats, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 guys that hit over 300. All of them hit well over 300. And of those 4 guys, we're talking 73 at bats, 67 at bats, 75 at bats, and 73. These guys raked all playoffs long. Now, if you look at, let's just go to the World Series. World Series. It didn't stop. That's the thing. Like, it didn't change. Here's your World Series averages. 333, 308, 480, 348, 200, 161, 387, 250, 148. So, again, at 381, one guy, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys over 300. Let's go to the OPS in just the World Series. Over 1,000, over 900, over 1,000, over 900, over 800, over 850, over 800. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 or 7 guys over like a 850 OPS on their team. And it was the same exact thing. There was 6 guys over 800 throughout the whole playoffs. 2 in the 8s, 2 in the 9s, and 2 over 1,000. That's what the Blue Jays had. Now let's go straight from there to World Series for the Dodgers. Let's look at their averages. 333, 214, 267, 207, 179, 241, 200, 138, 143, 143, 000, 063. Pages. Let's look at the OPS. 1,200 for Ohtani. 777, 886, 6, 4, 6, 7, 4, 3, 0, 0, 4, 1. 126. They had one guy over 1,000 and nobody else. Will Smith and Ohtani were the only 2 guys above 800. Everybody else on their team, 7s, most of them below 7. Most of them in the 5s and 6s and 4s. The Dodgers didn't hit the baseball. They didn't hit the ball whatsoever in the World Series. So if you look at what is it going to take to beat this superstar team, you got to pitch, number one, obviously. And you got to play good baseball. That's it. You got to come up clutch. You got to do the right things. I think the Blue Jays had several chances to win the World Series. They did not. They didn't capitalize on several different moments. They've been dissected, picked apart. Obviously, we know that. But the Dodgers, the thing about getting lucky is you don't just like get lucky and go, oh, they're so lucky. Like the old Yankees used to, oh, they're lucky. They got that bloop single in the end and it ended up winning them the game. No, you know what happened? For 9 innings, they kept it close so that bloop single put them up a run or walked it off or won the game or tied it for them. If they were down by 5 and that bloop single put them down by 4 with 2 outs in the ninth, nobody gives a shit. It's not lucky anymore. It's just like, yeah, they're not good. They're good because they kept themselves in every game that they got lucky in, right? Same thing with the Dodgers. The Dodgers, they're not lucky because if Rojas hits that bomb and they're down by 5, and all of a sudden now with 1 out, 2 outs left in the World Series, you're down by 4 instead of 5, nobody cares. You end up losing the game. But the Dodgers kept the best offense in the league, in my opinion, at bay. They kept them close. They did it to where that home run mattered. It tied the game instead of put them down by 3. That's where luck factors in. Oh, we had a guy hit a home run that hasn't hit one since we can remember. We're lucky that he hit that ball, but we're not lucky that we kept the game close for 9 innings. That's just the truth, right? Are we lucky that, IKF didn't take a big lead at third? Sure. Are we lucky that Rojas was prepared and made a very difficult play and threw a strike to home? No, we're not lucky in that department. So for me, when I look at good teams, great teams like the Dodgers, and I look at a guy like this kid in Japan, I call him a kid, he's 27. If he wants to go somewhere else, I think at this point there's probably 10 teams that are wise choices. I don't think you have to go to the juggernaut. I don't think you have to go to the Yankees. I don't think you have to go to any team like that. I think you have to find a team that is going to compete, that's going to play baseball the right way, and that's who's going to put a push against these guys. If we learned anything throughout the playoffs this year, it's that everything comes full circle. Home run or bust isn't the play when it comes to winning time. What these guys do is they try to get paid all season long by hitting tanks because that's what pays. I don't know what Aaron Judge's OBP is, but I bet it's close to Luis Arias. I bet it's pretty close. I bet their paychecks are not the same. Their contracts aren't anywhere near each other. They never will be. Aaron Judge gets paid to hit bombs. That's what these guys try to do throughout the regular season because they're trying to hit bombs. But then when you get to the playoffs and they're trying to win baseball games, you see the bunts, you see the small ball, you see the shorten up with 2 strikes and put a ball in play, make a defense move, push the runner from second to third with nobody out, hit a sac fly. You see real baseball. So I don't think you need to be built to make the playoffs. You want to be built to win the World Series. And that goes all season long. I think you play winning baseball all season, and you're probably going to be the best team there. The Brewers did that. They got smoked by, obviously, the Dodgers. That pitching staff was disgusting at that time. But they played real baseball. That's why they were there. That's why he was the manager of the year. Again, he put a good baseball product on the field. So, and I don't think the Brewers had the guys. They didn't have this incredible team. They weren't filled with superstars, but they played really good baseball. So looking at what the Jays did to the Dodgers in the World Series, that should tell you what it's going to take to beat these guys, to beat anybody in this situation. You got to play real baseball. They pitched, they battled, they had the best at bats of anybody all playoffs long. It wasn't even close. And they had pop when they had pop. They were guys that hit the ball consistently, hard, on the barrel. So when I think about these other teams like the Yankees, think about it. Why don't you start developing? Bring in the hitting coach that makes sense. Find somebody that changes the tune there. So I don't know. I do like that this guy, let me get his name one more time, see if I can get it right. Let's see if I can get it right. I don't know why I'm saying see if I can get it right because I don't even know how it is originally. Tatsuya Imai. Let's read his last quote here. They would just tell you anything if you asked, right? Imani said in reference to the idea of teaming up with a fellow Japanese player in the U.S. I don't really want that. In a way, I want to experience that survival vibe and facing cultural differences and figuring them out on my own is part of the fun. You say that now, but I don't think it's going to be part of the fun in the USA. Not in the big leagues, because a 3.15 ERA in Japan may or may not. I'm not saying this guy's going to be good or he's not going to be good. I'm saying a 3.15 ERA either turns into a 6 here or it plays and is a 2.9 and you're unbelievable and the pitching coaches here work with you and get you dialed in or whatever the case. This could go either way. I also think after saying that, Dodgers throw a big enough check at him, guess where he's going? He's going to the Dodgers. If they throw the big enough check. As simple as that. He's not going to turn down the highest bid if it's the Dodgers and say, no, I want to beat you guys. And if he does do that, then good for him. I think he's an idiot. But we'll see. I think there's going to come a point where he's not going to regret this, but it's going to backfire on him. I truly believe that. This is the off season. It is almost Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I say I think because I'm filming this on a Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure it'll come out on a Wednesday, and then Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. You guys enjoy. Thanks for listening. Next episode, I'm gonna talk about something I said in here. I can't remember what it is. I probably already covered it a little bit, but I think I'm going to go over what I think winning baseball is now and what guys do to actually get paid versus win. I think that's an important topic here. So thanks for listening. This is a Hold My Ball podcast. I will check in with all of you guys on the flip side. Like this thing, share it, subscribe, do whatever. Anything that doesn't cost you any money and helps support me, I'm in on that. So do all those things, whatever they are. Thank you guys. This is a Hold My Ball podcast. I'll check you out in the next.